Hi there, con artist. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm a couple minutes late. I'm actually still feeding animals outside. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. It was on the 21st. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really rough. I mean, especially now that I've got these kittens, they take up so much time, and they're running all over the place and causing a ruckus, knocking things over, and of course, between them and the criminals that enter the buildings and do unruly things, it's a little difficult sometimes. Yeah, I'm actually even considering doing the lives like maybe every other week. I'm not sure yet. I just have so much going on here this time of the year and constant struggles about getting the grass cut. But how are you doing? I have so many raccoons, they're scaring away the fox. Hi, True Peace. Did you find out who controls the city's billboards? Like the movie They Live. Um, well, I'll tell you that when I moved here, I wanted to get a billboard, and I contacted the local newspaper marketing person. And at first, she was like all gung ho and everything, and then I did not hear from her again. She, um, I don't even remember her name. Otherwise, I tell you her name. I'd have to go looking for it. But I asked her what it would cost. The costs were reasonable compared to, like in New Jersey, which is like through the roof. So the costs were reasonable. And I wanted to do some advertising, not only for about targeting, but I moved here for the first time and I thought, this would be a good way to spend money for advertising for myself. This woman lost all contact with me, did not respond after my phone calls, leaving her voice messages, etc. And I could find her. I might be able to find her name now, so we can say it out loud because it's true. Let's see. Oh, here she is, Sherry Lynn Brockman. And yeah, I included her as what's called a sellout. Sherry Lynn Brockman. She would not accept my advertising or my money. Yes, WWAG FM out of Berea. Yes, she refused all contact with me. So yeah, I have no problem calling these people out. She can call me. She can call me and tell me why she doesn't want to accept my money for advertising. I mean, just like the veterinarian wouldn't accept my money to spay and neuter cats being dumped on my property, but yet, I mean, this is really interesting. I was going to do a video about it, and I have noticed this consistently. Let's see, True Peace says governors, senators, city council members, and city managers, local government members, etc. Yes, yes. But not, yes, the billboards alongside of the roads, but some of the billboards are not huge. There are smaller billboards. Like, of course, they're the huge, huge, huge billboards. Like, back in the day, they'd have the cigarettes. Hi, Nick, welcome. They'd advertise cigarettes or at, insurance companies and stuff. But there are smaller. Hi, 6 Kevin. Hi, welcome, welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up. Hi, River Bluff, welcome. I know it takes a little while for you to get the notifications when I go live. I went live like just a few minutes after 10. But yeah, I was just saying that I tried to get advertising here when I moved here. Like literally within the first year that I was living here, this woman, Sherry Brockman, I called her. She was really nice. And then suddenly, I'm asking her the prices. I get all the prices. I call her back because then I'm deciding how I'm going to advertise. No contact from me. No, she would refuse emails, responses, voice messages. So evidently she was contacted, just like with the veterinarian. But this is something that I've noticed. I noticed that when targeted people file complaints with governments, bona fide complaints, like in New Jersey. Hi, let's see, B Dawn, B Dawn, D Dawn. Hi, I don't. How am I pronouncing that? B Dawny Don. Welcome, welcome. So I'll give you the example. I filed a complaint with the Attorney General, Criminal Division, been dawned on. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. And it obviously was against the Manalapan Police Department, but it was more specifically that they attempted to charge my Medicaid card for services that were ordered by them to get me out of the house so they could steal my evidence and get my blood. That's basically what they did. And I wasn't going to pay for it a dime. So I wrote to the Attorney General that this is called Medicaid fraud. It's Medicaid fraud. So obviously they didn't respond to me. It absolutely, it's Medicaid fraud, Medicare fraud, insurance fraud, health fraud, psychiatric fraud. The amount of time they spent on me in those 6 hours, they could have taken other patients who really needed to be seen. So they wasted the time of that nurse. They wasted the time of the receptionist, the two receptionists there. They wasted the time of the EMS person, which I did not pay. I didn't pay anybody. I didn't sign anything, didn't pay anybody. But meanwhile, when I filed the complaint about that, and of course, a thousand other things about me being kidnapped out of my house, and how there was no warrant, and they broke into my house, etc. But the key component was the Medicaid fraud, the Medicare fraud. Well, lo and behold, the Attorney General, just a couple of months later, announces breaking this Medicare fraud scheme across New Jersey. And it's like, you're kidding me, right? And I've spoken to other targeted people. They have seen the same nonsense where they file a bona fide complaint. Like, this is huge complaint that should be like really announced across the country. But of course, they don't take your complaint seriously, but they know that it's an issue. And then they seem to find some magical fraud scheme about the same thing and and announce all the great sleuthing they did in their investigation, et cetera, et cetera. Just like here in Jackson County, Kentucky, I get the newspaper today, right? Now, you all know that Dr. Rebecca Caleb Wilson from the Anvil Medical Veterinary Clinic refused services to me because she said that I'm not friends with her friends. Yeah, it's a show. I'm not friends with her friends and she doesn't get me. Like, I've ever met this woman. Like, I'm in my 60s. Like, how would you get me if you're in your 30s and you've never met me? Like, what kind of a moron, what kind of a veterinarian are you anyway? Like, do I really want to take my animals to you? But anyway, you get what you get because you're in a small town and that's all there is. So today I get the newspaper, right? Or yesterday. I've been saving it. Judge Gabbard discusses road funding and maintenance. you know, I do enough videos down the county road where you could see the county road's going to fall into the ground, like, I don't know, within the next year. Whenever the Freemasons decide to crack it up again. A bridge improvement program now. And then they're talking about funds for spay and neuter program. And he has the audacity, and this is what this idiot does. He says, we have submitted a grant application to the Department of Agriculture requesting funds for spay and neuter for pets for Jackson County. We have received these funds in the past, but did not receive any last year. You want to know why? Because they didn't apply for funding last year. Just the way they didn't apply for road funding a few years ago. They claimed that FEMA gave them the diagram for rebuilding the bridge without rebar, but that was false. Through FOIA requests, this judge never requested a grant through FEMA for that year. So here, he's lying again. Lies of omission. We have received funds for these in the past, but we did not receive any last year. I made a call to the Commissioner of Agriculture last week, and he gave me the information we needed to get signed up and considered for funds. We're hopeful to be approved, and this is the way governments work. If you want a grant, it doesn't magically appear in your mailbox. You have to submit an application for it. It's sort of like getting accepted into a graduate program. You can't just call up and say, could you get me in, please? No, you have to make an application for it. You have to prove a need for it. And you have to provide statistics for your county for it. How many animals, what do you need? And once you get the funding, who is the veterinarian that you are going to select to do these spay and neuters? Or are you just going to provide certificates to pet owners, like a voucher card, to hand to a veterinarian that gets you a free spay and neuter? I don't know. I know the way it worked in New Jersey. In New Jersey, they would have the ASPCA, or they called it the SPCA, and they would have discounted spay and neuter. Like you could go and get your cat spay and neuter for 20 or 30 bucks, and you get a voucher. Or there would just be special days that you would go, and literally, it's a 6-minute procedure to get a male cat neutered. So the fact that this veterinarian here who wouldn't give me an appointment was going to charge me like $180 to neuter a cat. I don't know. I think it was $160 for a neuter, $190 for a spay, is just literally off the charts. Exactly, con artists. Exactly. They have to get they have to apply for funding. They have to apply for funding to declare the need for it. It's just like getting funding for the roads. You have to apply for it. You have to show them the need. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The Masonic friends receive the contracts. Ha ha ha. Yes, yeah, they received the road contracts. Yeah, and they did not include rebar underneath the bridge. I mean, I'm no civil engineer, but if I were building a bridge, I would have rebar under it. I would not have a plastic corrugated tube that had not existed there 30 years prior, but I would have rebar under the county bridge or road. So yeah, so I've noticed a pattern when targeted people file a bona fide complaint with a senior level of state government, they will concoct a narrative and make it very public that they have addressed the very issue that you sent them the complaints about to put a little feather in their cap. Let's see, in the movies, the Star Wars, if the Democrats are the Empire, who would the Republicans be? Anyone familiar with the trilogy? Oh, you mean The Hobbit? The J.R.R. Tolkien? I'm not real familiar with Star Wars. I did see them all, but it's not my thing. I mean, I think I saw The Empire Fights Back. Um, but I think after that, I don't think I saw any more. I just don't have time. The Rebels. Oh, that's so funny, Nick. See, seen Brinks truck delivering bags of cash at the local courthouse. Yeah. Those are probably all the bail bonds, that they stole from people just for pulling them over for traffic stops. Both parties would be a part of the empire and targets would be the rebels. Oh, interesting. That would be really interesting. You know, like when I watched TV and when I went to the movies, like I liked going to film. I loved analyzing it. And I'd even go on uh tours. Well, not tours in when I lived in New York City. I signed up for a an Alfred Hitchcock series because I loved like watching his film. And then we'd have this analytical discussion about the symbolism and stuff in the films. And I love that stuff. I even took a course in college. I think it was something about film interpretation or whatever, the psychology of film interpretation, something to that effect. So I really like that. But I don't have time, and I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know where there is a movie theater. And I don't have Netflix. I don't even have a TV. Oh, yes. Yes, I was freaked out by Rosemary's Baby, like, back in the day when I saw it, and a lot of those films, it just creeped me out, but it has a totally different meaning for me now, like, reflecting on it, totally different meaning on it. A lot of those films, and, like, even when I saw the film Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman about the secret societies and stuff, the Republic Lights Back. John, yes, get this. I actually saw John Lennon like I was like feet away from him. I worked in Bloomingdale's like when I guess it was I was still going to university at the time, but I had a part-time job at Bloomingdale's in the housewares department. And suddenly you hear this like ruckus in the hallway, not the hallway, like the aisle in between the departments. And everybody's whispering, John Lennon, it's John Lennon and Yoko Ono, it's John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And John Lennon and Yoko Ono are walking down the aisle. It was almost like the parting of the seas. Like everybody stopped what they were doing to look at them walking down the housewares aisle. It was unbelievable. And they were just like regular people just walking down. They weren't waving to anybody or whatever. Have any of you had the cops called on you by any of these trash demons? Um, yes, in New Jersey. Yes, my next door neighbor, my newly installed criminal neighbor, concocted a narrative. I'm outside talking to my painter, who I find out is a perp. She walks out of her house, and I turn to her. She's looking at me. She turns to me. She says, "What are you looking at?" And this is the bitch that damaged my property already. Her landscaper damaged my property, and I had sent them a letter, and they sent me a one-line response letter back. So there was already tension between us because she was setting me up for something. And she had the audacity to call the cops on me, concocted a narrative that I cursed at her with her infant son in the car. There was no infant in the car. She walked out of her house. There was no kid in the car. And even if I did curse, cursing is not a crime. But she created this whole false narrative and called the police. And when I gave them, of course, my narrative and even the letter that I received back from them and my letter to them about the vandalism to my property, completely ignored, not even included in the incident report. So let's see, what are you saying? Connor says, yes, a few times for minor things. Plant installed neighbor. Yes, that's what they are. They're paid. They're probably paid better than my neighbors because the cost of living was higher in Manalapan than here. Yes, but later that low life died of a drug overdose. Well, these people, karma is a real thing. See, the thing is, like, we don't know how bad they really are. We don't know how many other people they've targeted in their lives. We don't know how they've treated their own family members. We don't really know. So that's why you got to leave it up to the universe. The universe knows how bad, how evil these people have been, not just to me, but to everybody else in their life. So, I can only put it out there to the universe that they're going to get theirs times 10, at least on behalf of me. And God only knows, what they're going to get on behalf of everybody else that they tormented, how evil they are. And how ignorant they are for signing non-disclosure agreements. Oh, they think they're so special. They think they're so special. They signed a deal with the devil. And of course, when the program is completely exposed, guess who's going to prison? Some of those kiddos. Let's see. Copus Aurelis Maximus the fourth. Let's see. Hey, I think there's a lot of suspicion when people claim to be TIs and have giant houses and won't reveal their names. Well, you're not referring to me. Everybody knows who I am. And I don't have a giant house. But believe it or not, there are a lot of targeted people that have been very successful in their lifetimes. They've had $1 million houses. Oh, I don't know. I don't follow anybody, but there are targeted people who have been wealthy. And that could be while they're targeted. They've had businesses. Some of them have had $1 million businesses, $1 million homes. I know one woman who, she and her husband were very wealthy. They stole her diamond engagement ring. They had a gorgeous condo. They caused the relationship to break up. So, just remember that we all had a past life before we became targeted. And some of us were doctors, some of us lawyers. Trump was targeted, but he's a very wealthy man. Remember, we all had a life before this, and we all earned money. We all had houses or condos or apartments or whatever we had. And let's see. Yeah, Trump was targeted for a bit. So Nick says, I knew this guy. He said he was a government agent, NASA parking lot security guard. Well, it was really weird because on TikTok, there was a woman, and this was last year, and I was actually going to donate some money to her because I felt so bad. She went from living in her car, I think, like apartment to a car, to being in a homeless shelter, and she's just screaming about how anybody that owns a home is not targeted. And I thought that's so wrong because there are a lot of targeted people I know that still have houses. Let's see, Greenland business operators that did not comply during no New Zealand police started targeting them. Oh, that's interesting. They can do it to anybody. And I have a lot of theories about how I got nominated into the program. But one thing I didn't consider when I was doing all of my rants about that is after I spoke to my brother, my father was heavily targeted, like really heavily. And, sometimes obviously they go into the families. My father had a very high IQ. He was inventing stuff at IBM. He was going to patent things, so they stole his ideas. They gave my brother V2K. So, I mean, they did stuff in my family. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. That's one of the reasons why you were red flagged. There are so many perps putting out misinformation, pretending to be TI help channels. It's so it's so hard to know sometimes. And I'm just going to say it because I've been targeted since before 2012. I really think around 2009. But when I realized what it actually was, it was because I was researching online. I knew what stalking was because I actually had a bona fide stalker that I had actually taken to court, had a restraining order on, testified before the grand jury. So I know what a stalker is. But I didn't realize with these groups of people doing U-turns in front of me, following me. I just thought it was the feral cat cartel. Yes, anyone who owns real estate is targeted, especially when they find out it's paid for. Yeah. Well, they targeted me in New Jersey when I had a mortgage and a home equity credit line on my house. But my house in New Jersey was very valuable. It sold from way less than it was worth. It sold for $100,000 less for what it was worth. And now my former house in New Jersey, right now can sell for $1 million. But the property taxes I just heard just went up another $2,000. So the property taxes when I left was around 9,000, and now they're going to be $17,000. So I mean, I loved my house there and I like New Jersey, but it's too expensive to live there. You cannot live there. It's just too expensive. Yes, my old house is $1 million now. I should have stayed. Like really, if I would have stayed a couple of more years, I would have made a lot more money. But however, they would have destroyed my house probably another $100,000. Um, I mean, there were so many more things that they could have destroyed in that house before I sold it. I mean, I renovated everything in the house and then they destroyed it all. I had to renovate one bathroom 2 times because of what they did to it. Could you imagine? Well, that's so funny that you say that. Conrad has said, yeah, just for people that are listening, he says, if I lose my house, I'll submit myself to a psych ward to get free food and lodgings. Well, a lot of people do that. I know people that do that all the time. And they do it with getting arrested for minor infractions. Although I don't know that you'd want to be part of the prison population. But there was one person I heard a testimony. I think it was on David A's channel, and the guy said that it was recently too, that he admitted himself to a psych ward, and he said it was the best thing that he ever did because he got treated so well there, and he was able to sleep. I couldn't believe it. That's not happening to Jessica, though. Let's see. Corporations that participate in this crime should be held accountable for damage. I agree. Because corporations, first of all, they do you know how much they can write off? How much funding they get? And if they're a nonprofit, they get donations too. Yeah, and yes, exactly. Well, that's what they're doing to Jessica Thomaston. Jessica is a PhD. She's being held against her will. She's there a year now at the Tuscaloosa, Alabama, DCH, I forget what it's called, Pavilion Building. Oh, it's horrible. It's just horrible what they're doing to this woman because evidently she's targeted. I'm not exactly sure this is why she's targeted, but she performed some very unique research on I'll just write it in the chat. And she discovered something about what I just wrote that nobody else discovered. So maybe she's targeted because of that. Because when I spoke to her, I said, "Do you think that's why you're targeted?" She said, "Well, she was in a groups, some of her colleagues where they researched together, and two of her colleagues mysteriously died. Now, these are people in their 30s, like weird accidents. So, I just remember to hit the thumbs up. I see like there are 18 people, maybe people listening, and 12 thumbs up. So if you can hit the thumbs up, that would be great. Yeah, so I don't know if that's why she's targeted. Big interview tonight. What interview? Oh, you were doing research. Yes, corporations are an extension of government. It's today I was listening to somebody speak about the word governmental. Think about this. I'm just going to write it down. That they want to control your mind. I never thought about breaking up the word that way. Governmental. They want to control your thoughts. Oh, that's right. You told me you were a data analyst. That's interesting. That it just tags people. People said that when they found out what my master's research topic was, they said, "Oh, that's definitely why you're targeted." Because I was researching alternatives to medicating children diagnosed with ADHD. And even one of my research professors, uh, I don't I remember her. I felt as if she wasn't on the same page as me in researching that topic. That it was kind of like against what I should be doing. It is a great skill to have. It's just, when I think about how every one of us is targeted and how much money is spent, how many resources are spent. It's not even just about the money, it's the resources. When there are so many people out there in need, there are people becoming homeless, there are elderly people, there are people with learning disabilities. And this program is targeting like regular people spending so much money. The amount of money that's being spent on targeting, our world, our society could be such a wonderful society, could be so prosperous for everybody. But instead, they want it to be like a killing game, like the Hunger Games, like a hunting game. It's horrible. It's disgusting. Yeah, the program is full on data driven. Well, I'm really curious about what's going on in those fusion centers because, I FOIA requested them and they have nothing on me. I'm confused. I'm really confused. How could you not have any files on me when I have filed complaints all the way up the state of Kentucky? You have nothing? There's nothing there. With all your fusing of data and all your collaborations and all your, you know, partnerships, you have no information on me? Well, the document that was as close as any document could be on this program was that Trapped in a Black Box, the ACLU compiled all that data from the FOIA requests of the FBI on the terrorist watch list. That was like a phenomenal paper, but it's so outdated now. And it was even written based upon outdated information. There was a lot of information that was requested of the FBI that they never received. So they completed Trapped in a Black Box, Growing Terrorism Watch Listing, and Everyday Policing PDF that you can find online. It's everywhere. You have to read it. It's really excellent. It will really explain how it works, how you're nominated, and how there's no oversight at all. Once you get on, you never get off. And after you pass away, they still keep you on there. Is that amazing? They never take you off. I think that's insane. Oh, is that right? Well, it's somebody sent me a link. Let me see if I could find it. I might have deleted it. Um, 1 second. One second. 1 second. Oh, and let me send this to you in case you haven't seen this. Mount Rainier might start to activate. Now, let me just leave this in here for you guys. So this is just some weather and news that's happening here. Let's see. Some links that you might be interested in. I'll just cut and paste them. This one I haven't listened to yet. It's Jordan Maxwell. The church and religion don't want you asking these questions, Jordan Maxwell. I didn't have time to watch this one yet today. But there's one that I started to watch on Bill Binney. Let me see if I deleted it. Oh, did you hear about this? Now, let me just. 11 people were injured in a stabbing attack at a Michigan Walmart. Yes. Oh, wait, it gets worse. I'm trying to find the flood in China. This was a this is going to affect some of our trade. If I can find it again, let's see. Oh, here it is. One second. This was yesterday. Giant dam burst. China bridges collapse as the rivers overflow and submerge cities. Let me get you this link so you can see this. This is really bad. I like that idea, River Bluff. We could create a checklist and get 100 targets to respond. This could create a multivariate analysis to see factors contributing to being targeted. I think that would be a great study. But you know what? These days, it doesn't take much. All you have to do is speak the truth about something, uh, break up with somebody, file a lawsuit, fire your lawyer, piss somebody off. And there's so many narcissists in society today. It doesn't take much. I mean, look at what happened to Michaela Raines rescuing foxes. It was on BitChute. That's what it was. It was Bill Binney and Catherine Horton. It was new, and it was on BitChute. It was about how they're being silenced or something like that. But I didn't watch it. Hi, Fiona. Welcome. Just to say that I did email your sheriff again. On the 24, number 25 was not valid. Oh, interesting. Yes, yes, that's absolutely correct. Yes, that you know what? They may be blocking people. Yes. Yeah, let me see if I could find the address that I had for them when I FOIA requested them. Yeah, it's JCSO. Yeah, let me get it here. One second. Oh, and then there's another one here. There's Jackson. Oh, here, let me just write this. This is another email address. The email address that I just posted definitely does work because I did a FOIA request through there. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I know. Did you see that? That is so scary. And then I was reading the comments down below, and it's not an isolated occurrence. They said that it's happened like 8 years in a row. I just have to walk to my door for a second to see if Zoomies going to come in here. Zoomie! Girl. Oh, what are you doing here? Girl, are you still out? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we're going to have to get you in the house soon. What are you doing out? You're supposed to be in the house. I know. I know. Well, we'll get you there in a little bit. Let's sit down. Yeah, go lay down. Let's go lay down. Yeah. All right, come over here. I thought I have another cat here, my little cat, Kitty Venus. I thought she was in the house next door, and she's out wandering around here, staying out late on Saturday night. It is. I know that was scary to see that flood. To have a dam burst just anywhere is a problem. Yes, yes, I know. Right, tell them. Tell them what you think. So let's see. There was something else. Let's see. Let's see. Kevin had sent me some documents that I thought I was going to read. Let's see. Where did it go? Okay, here it is. Okay, so one of our subscribers is Kevin, And he sent me a link to some of his articles that he's written on WordPress. One is dated July 25, 2025. I can actually post the link in the chat, but I'll read it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hi, Porch Swing. Tunes. It's a cute name. Welcome. Yeah, so I'm going to read this, The Step Back Technique by Kevin Boykin, a mindful practice for clarity under technological targeting. For those under active targeting, especially through psychological or neurological means, there exists a quiet, powerful defense few ever name. Step back. Not away from the fight, but from the body, the moment, the surge. Shift your awareness just 1 degree behind your experience. Become not the target, not the feeling, not even the self, but the observer, that which watches. Imagine your conscious presence as a specter, a spirit that gently steps back one pace back from the physical self. You're still here, still alert, still sovereign, but now you're watching from just outside the trap they built. In this space, synthetic emotions reveal themselves for what they are: foreign, planted, false. Reactions lose their grip because you've stopped identifying with them. Perspective returns, not as a concept, but as a lived spatial truth. This is not denial. You're not disassociating. You're just relocating your awareness to a higher ground. This place, the one step back, is where your signal lives. It's where you remember who you are. You can still speak, still respond, still resist, but now you do so from the part of you that can't be reached by their wires. God bless the TIs. Thank you for that inspirational step back technique. Okay, he says, I didn't put it in the article, but I actually picture my soul, if you will, stepping back out of my body sometimes. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Good to see you. You rushed your own video tonight to be done in time for yours. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the articles. And they look nice. WordPress, they look very attractive in WordPress. Yeah, it's easy to read and the format looks nice. Give me an air of regency, one I can't arrive at otherwise. So let's see what other article you have here. This is the one that I read earlier. Addendum. 2 more devices for surviving the invisible war by Kevin Boykin and the Dance of Resistance. In the first article, we introduced device 1, the step back method, the ability to mentally remove yourself from the attack and observe it from a safe cognitive distance. That single move has saved many moms. But as you already know, they don't stop. Neither do we. This is an addendum, not a list of theories, but more devices, tools you can use. These 2 are simple, subtle, and powerful. the kind that slip beneath the surface and start rewiring you from the inside out. Device two is the emotional circuit. They run loops. They poke, they wait. If you don't react, they force one. Oh, yes, I know about that. That's the game. But here's the part that matters. You're part of the loop too. You're not just the target, you're the circuit closer. And if you stop playing your part, the energy has nowhere to go. When they can't provoke you naturally, they inject the feeling anyway: fear, shame, dread, synthetic, but real enough to feel like your own. But as Socrates showed us, that which is natural can be a poison at times. There's a brief moment always when you can pause and ask, is this mine? Is this useful? Is this even real? And in that moment, you stop the circuit from closing. Even if the emotion still rises, it doesn't land the same way. You've broken their spell, broken the spell. The key move is when you feel a surge, don't rush to interpret it. Don't figure it out. Just pause and observe. One breath, one thought. This might not be mine, quote unquote. That's where your power begins. Device number three, the God intercept. They come hardest in the morning, before your thoughts are formed, before you even remember who you are. Why? Because they know something you might not. The moment you connect back to your source, to peace, to clarity, to God, they lose ground. When you reach for that connection, they scramble. So they try to intercept it. But if you get there first, even by a second, they often back off. This doesn't have to be religious, it's just to be real. That calm place inside you, that place they can't mimic, hijack, or broadcast into, is your shield. And they know it. The key move: before you move, before you think, connect. Quote unquote, here I am. God, let me feel you before I feel them. Peace before paranoia. Unquote. They can fake a lot, but they can't fake what's truly yours. And the final note to the reader and the watcher, to my fellow TIs: every time they come at us, we come away stronger because we share what we learn. They force adaptation, and we force evolution. To the ones watching, you shouldn't have left us alone. You took thinkers, seers, creators, and turned them into weapons of memory. We record, we teach, we name the pattern. And once we do, you can't put it back in the bottle. We're not just surviving, we're documenting. And we'll be here when you're gone. More devices coming. You'll feel them when they land. God bless the TIs. Well, thank you for that, Kevin. That was very good. And I will place that link in the chat here. There you go. Check out the Bizarro Brer Rabbit by Proxy article. Oh, okay, let me see. Let me see. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I didn't read this one yet. It's dated July 25, 2025. Bizarro Brer Rabbit by Proxy. I'll post the link in the chat here. Okay, sometimes I give the perps a little advice like, whatever you do, don't think about that one thing you really don't want the remote neural monitoring system to pick up. You know, that memory, that secret, just don't think about it seriously. Then I give them a second, let their fear do the rest. They think they're watching me, but they forget they're being watched too. And I know how to make them leak signal. God bless the TIs. That's interesting. That's right. We're not the only ones that are being watched. We're watching them too. Sort of like for anybody that was in my chat last week around midnight, at 12:04 p.m. to be precise. There was an explosion outside, and everybody in the chat heard about it. Everybody heard it. I know, I know. Hi, business owners. Welcome, welcome. I just read 3 short articles by Kevin, and they're posted in the chat there. We talked about the news earlier, like news around the world, crazy stuff going on, weather related stuff. Yeah, that explosion was quite loud. It was. But of course, the sheriff won't be investigating anything. I didn't even report it to him. I've decided I will not be calling our sheriff ever again. I will not even be calling the Kentucky State Police. You know why? They have been in the news way too much lately. Way too much. So all of my complaints will go to the Attorney General. Let him deal with it. It was very loud and it was bright. It was very bright. Yes, I saw that. The barcode tracking stickers and QR code tracking stickers on perp cars. Yes, 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 yes. I saw that. I didn't get a chance to see that video, but somebody posted a video about that. And Look Out for Charlie has been posting a couple of videos over the last couple of days. Um, the way they track us. But yeah, Look Out for Charlie had a video about the recordings, like the mechanical voices and stuff. Hi, Tasha. Welcome. Do you hear the creepy voice? Do you know that creepy voice is in my cameras too? So it's definitely on my end. It's not you guys. You can hear it. Do you know that it actually said my name on my camera? I uploaded it to the channel, and other people said yes. It sounds like Lauren. Oh yeah, I downloaded a video today. Didn't upload it yet though. I was inside the Cats building, and then when I went into one of the cameras, the stuff that they make these cats listen to, it's horrible. Like growling noises, not cat growling noises, like electronic growling noises and bangs and knocks. I know, I know. I feel so bad for them. My cats from New Jersey are definitely not the same. They're not the same. Well, for a few reasons. One, they don't live with me anymore. We're in separate buildings, which is horrible. But they're being tortured. And so many of their friends, their family members, have been deleted by these criminals. Young cats, family members. I know it's just horrible. It's just these they're disgusting. But people are actually speaking out on other YouTube channels about legislation, about what they do, what these cults do to animals. They're calling it religion and all of this stuff. It's not religion, it's torture. And there may be legislation in the future about it. But let's see what else is going on here. Oh, I was going to read. I've got a couple of more flyers from Karen Stewart. They're just always so riveting. Let's see what else we can find here. Okay, this looks interesting. One second, let me open this one up. Okay, this one, this article from Karen Stewart. It's entitled "The Birth of the American Quote Unquote Useful Idiots." The birth of the American useful idiots. In the early 20th century, the Bolsheviks, Russian Jewish communists, succeeded in derailing the Russian monarchy's transition to a very democratic constitutional monarchy, like in England, with the use of masses of ignorant peasants the Bolsheviks called useful idiots. The transition would have given the Russians their first taste of freedom ever, but the Bolsheviks were masters of lies and propaganda and convinced the useful idiots to work against their own best interests by murdering the entire Russian royal family, working to modernize Russia and turning over total leadership to the savage Bolshevik communists, who immediately took steps to starve 6 million people, to subjugate the entire country to socialism, communism. Think, quote unquote, supply chain shortages happening now. Thanks to the quote unquote useful idiots, their children, and grandchildren suffered one of the most oppressive, cruel, and deadly regimes in history for decades. And this is for educational purposes only. I'm reading an article. Communism, socialism, is a parasite that sucks a host dry after decades and then moves on to another host, another country, another economic system, such as the one that is healthy due to capitalism and free commerce. When communism targets another people, another country, another culture, it sends dissenters to fool the useful idiots in that society into turning against their own country and countrymen. This is done through first capturing teachers and the media to spread propaganda. The same is happening today after decades of communist infiltration into the so called Democratic Party and rhinos that has been taking bribes from communist China for decades to subvert the USA, its government, economy, societal attitudes, or hijack or discredit quote unquote religion as part of the propaganda machine power grab. Communism cannot take root without creating distrust among citizens and each other, creating a false bogeyman, destroying family, religious, and Western philosophical ethics to be replaced with blind obedience to the quote unquote state, and leaving people in a state of chaos and confusion. If this sounds familiar, you're catching on. Satan is not usually going to identify himself to you, but will rather identify himself as quote unquote tolerance or progressive thought. Tolerating evil is not progressive, it's regressive and suicidal to any decent society, and has always been a civilization destroyer. And once again, this is for educational purposes only. Right now, the USA is awash in useful idiots engaged in a secret, cowardly, seditious civil war in the name of patriotism. They're led and funded by the Department of Homeland Security, FBI fusion centers, which were designed by experts from the former Russian KGB and communist Germany's secret police to actually serve foreign infiltrators like communist China, Iran, and the Mexican drug cartels, as well as the even more lucrative human trafficking cartels embedded in elite and corporate society, which have set a very real goal of destroying America and advancing their own interests and those of their socialist brethren in the New World Order. You are considered largely untapped resources of human and child trafficking, body part sex, and the adreno, you know, the chrome stuff. Potential, no America, no freedom anywhere. The birth of the American useful idiots, your neighborhood is part of this. Everyone's neighborhood is infected now. 20 plus years of infiltration. Fusion Center traders are paid in under the table gift cards. Your foolish neighbors are told certain individuals are quote unquote terrorist threats when they're not at all and never have been. The watch list is a total scam. It is the real terrorists calling the pat in order to murder them under your noses. Call your enemy what you are. Slap an authoritative claim to it, and the sheep will believe you. The false targets either are completely innocent or are acting to save America, and you're asleep butts from these vermin through activism and knowledge sharing. Flyers in neighborhoods are always quickly torn down by the guilty, rabid, and frenzied useful idiots there to keep you in the dark as to their criminal activity and betrayal of this country for measly gift cards. Sort of like all the landscapers they've bribed to not work here, and all the stupid narratives. Oh, yeah, my sister was in a car accident. You don't have a sister, loser. And then Tyler Allen, my other landscaper, he gives me the song and a dance. He's got to leave because his friend was in a car accident and died. You know, all these little loser boys that are lying and getting paid by these criminals and taking my money. They're double dippers. When they lie about somebody in their family dying, guess what? If that family doesn't exist, another one of their family members is going to be taken from them. So that's what you get for making a deal with the devil, making deals with neighbors, making deals with losers down the block when you're supposed to be working for me. That's okay, Carmageddon is on its way. Police are some of the biggest useful idiots, told to deny and cover up the gang activity of diffusion center seditionists and terrorists whose job it is to continually defame, vandalize, harass, file false police reports, steal, kill, maim pets, and even use handheld or portable electromagnetic weapons to provide fusion centers and police on discerning and virtuous people to harm and delete them, who are viewed as standing in the way of this degenerate cabal powered by useful idiots, cheap whores, selling you out for gift cards. Yeah, Fusion centers recruit life's losers to destroy the USA, usually actual clinically low IQ idiots, career criminals, emotional retards, as well as sociopaths that they empower would be mentally ill bullies. Far too chicken to be in anyone's face without the police and fusion center secret army to back them up. Yeah, you never see them driving by themselves. They always got somebody else in the seat with them, or somebody's driving right behind them. Imagine police chiefs, sheriffs, judges, mayors, legislators, etc., thinking, attacking, murdering innocent people because a rogue federal agency said to. Is in any way legal or constitutional, but that's who you put in charge of your own town and city. You elect idiots and you pay the price. Get on the phone, write letters to your police chief, your sheriff, the city council, congressman, senator, governor, attorney general, and human rights groups, and demand that fusion centers be defunded, shut down, audited, investigated, and victims listened to as to what constant criminal abuse these degenerate neighbors have subjected them to, which, when ignored by lazy law enforcement as well as sellout medical professionals ordered to report real injuries such as burns or second degree, third degree electromagnetic burns, as delusional when anyone can see the injuries. They're told it's a matter of quote unquote homeland security to cover up injuries to innocent people, and the fools buy it. Homeland security is in fact, I'm adding, is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as homeland security. There is no security in the homeland. If there was, then we would have no active shooters. But we all know where those guys came from anyway, right? You better muster up some common sense and courage, or you might as well just dig your family's graves right now and save China the effort. They've put decades of planning and bribing our leadership into play and expect to collect upon their investments sooner than you think, thanks to our abundance of greedy, seditious, useful idiots. They want your land, your water, your natural resources, farmland, cattle, sheep, chickens, natural resources, but they have no use for yet more of what they consider excess population. And that's by Karen Stewart, NSA intelligence analyst, retired, 28 years. The birth of the American useful idiots. Well, that was another another stellar article by Karen. The gift card grifters, yes. Let's see, would love to give them gift cards to hell. Hi, SCL, welcome. I didn't see you come in, I was reading. Welcome, welcome. Uh, they have an express pass already. What isn't there a song like Highway to Hell? Wasn't there like a rock song, Highway to Hell, or something like that? Let's see, Riverblow says, I have a story time with the dumb monkeys. I read your Karen posts to them every day. Oh, well, I have to post this one next too. Yeah, she's got a great flyer. I am so grateful that she gave them all to me. They're from like 2018 to 2022. Yes, Karen describes the system they have used the masses to build their utopia. Yep, 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 yep. It's and then it's bye bye people. Exactly. That's the way they do it. They have to use people. They have to use these people to get to the good people, and then they'll get rid of them because they know too much. That's the way it works in organized crime. So that one was called Birth of the American Useful Idiots. Let's see what else we have good here. Okay, this is I'm reading another one. This is one page. It's entitled Imagined FBI Fusion Center Spiel. Victims of the FBI Fusion Center watch list scam, meaning illegally targeted individuals, marvel at the stupid lies Fusion Center operatives must tell your neighbors and their abysmal stupidity and gullibility to believe them and commit obvious felonies for them. Example: a man comes with a bright shiny badge. Pardon me, sir or madam. I'm with the FBI Fusion Center, Homeland Security, and we would like your help to murder your neighbor. It pays well. You get a secret gift card, and the more terrorists we identify, the bigger our budget is. You'll be given high tech weapons that are invisible and mostly silent to aim at them 24/7. You will conduct the strongest attacks in the middle of the night when hopefully they're in a deep sleep and cannot protect themselves. The electromagnetic weapons will eventually covertly delete them. Not my word. That's my word. Few doctors will know the signs of directed energy attacks on the body, like dried out or burned organs. So they'll just assign it as a natural death declaration rather than say something is amiss. You see, even though you have lived next door to your neighbor for years and have never seen any objectionable or suspicious behavior whatsoever, we're here to tell you that we know they need to be deleted. Just believe us. We cannot waste time gathering evidence, conducting an investigation, getting witnesses, or following the law or the Constitution. They are such an unimaginable danger and so incredibly devious that they have left no evidence at all what they're up to. In fact, we don't even know. That's how stupid they are, right? They're so stupid. They are such an imaginable danger. Thus, we must ignore all the laws, all due process, and the Constitution and just kill them. But don't worry, this is all a sanctioned killing. Law enforcement will protect you. After all, Homeland Security can break any and all laws it wants. We're so special. Think of us as all knowing gods. We guarantee you will not be prosecuted for any crime. Oh, that's a crock of bullshit. Because Carmageddon's on its way. But don't worry, it's all sanctioned. After all, Homeland Security can break any and all laws. Think of us as gods. We have several people aiming these weapons secretly at the person. So who's to say anyway which one of you actually did it? And besides, we'll be laundering mega amounts of tax money to give you an obscene amount of money on gift cards to compensate you for your time. All the little gift card whores that live down the block, yeah. And besides, you should not report this to federal or local tax authorities. Let's just keep this as our little secret, shall we? Don't worry. The high tech weapons we will give you are just point and turn on. Any monkey can do it. That's why we chose you, after all. And that again was written by Karen Stewart. The imagined FBI Fusion Center spiel. What they what they tell your neighbors. I'm with the FBI Fusion Center Homeland Security, and we'd like your help to murder your neighbor. It pays well. You'll get some secret gift cards, and the more terrorists we identify, the bigger our budget is. You'll be given high tech weapons that are invisible and mostly silent to aim at them 24/7. Isn't that lovely? Just lovely. Let's see. Yes, jealousy is a cruel mistress. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. Block anyone that you feel uncomfortable with. I'm just noticing that. What is that? What's the problem? Copious. Uh, 6v6 is a long time subscriber. What's the problem? Yeah, I don't have a moderator. I don't. My moderator's disappeared. She wasn't here last week, and I emailed her. Let me see. One second. Yeah, let me just read this. Yeah, let me read this. One second. Okay, so that user is in timeout. Okay, so copious. Sorry about that. You're in timeout for the next half an hour, and in a half an hour, the chat will have ended. I'm sorry. Um, this is a safe place for people to have conversations. And I was busy reading, so I didn't see what was taking place. And that's what happens a lot of times when there is somebody who is instigating trouble. I've never seen that person either. If anybody can cut and paste that person and see he accused, I know. What is that? It's a battle of wits. He comes unarmed. Yes, yes. Well, thank you for mentioning it because I was busy reading, and then when I came back into the chat, I didn't see. Back to Greece, right? Well, he's in timeout now. I didn't realize, like, when you go, like, there are several ways that you can moderate the chat. You can place somebody in timeout for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or half an hour. You can delete them, block them so that they can't come back. So I placed the person in timeout for half an hour. But right now it's 11:34, and we're going to be ending around midnight. So they won't be back tonight. That's cute, the little turkeys there. Oh my goodness. So Karen Stewart has a way with words, for sure. And she knows a thing or two. I mean, she worked at the NSA for 28 years. I mean, they don't hire idiots there. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was the 21st. Yes. It was basically uneventful except for the explosion. They had to do the explosion the day before. But historically, since I've been targeted, they do horrible things to me on the 20th. They want my birthday to be memorable. The CIA. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I won't. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're doing really well on the war of drugs. The war on drugs has been going on for decades, and they still haven't done anything about it. It just changes. It's sort of like every couple of years, like insurance companies will say, like, your insurance is going to go up if you got this particular dog breed. So like every few years, like it changes. Like it'll be a pit bull 1 year, it'll be a mastiff another year, it'll be a German Shepherd another year, and it's like that here with the war on drugs. Like it used to be heroin, it used to be crack and cocaine, and now it's fentanyl. And oh, is that right? Is today's special demon day? They've been pissy and lighting me up. Let me see. Let me see what the. 1 second. We're in a waxing crescent moon. We just entered. Well, actually, it's a few days ago. I didn't do my Leo astrology yet. A few days old. We're in the sign of Leo. 1 second. Let me see what's doing astrologically. 1 second, guys. Oh yeah. Well, we're in a Mercury retrograde too. And one of the losers just drove by. When you go at night, at a major. Well, you want to hear something weird? I have the Big Dipper over my property. That's why it rains so much. Oh, really? The creepy voice? Can anybody make out what this creepo is saying? Because on my cameras, it actually said my name and other people could hear it. You did? That's so funny. He's giving stock tips. That's a good one. we I mean, I've tried slowing it up. I can't make it out. I'm sure Lookout for Charlie could, but I've sent him my chat so many times. It should be one set implants. Oh, you mean they're having a conversation now? Creepy, creepy one and creepy two. Creepy poopy doos. Oh, well, when I play it back, I'll hear it. I don't hear it at all during the chat. I only hear it on the replay. Anybody look up that guy, that Maximus guy, to see what his profile looks like? I should have saved it. Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably true. Since they monitor the electronics, it's two sided. I know there's something else going on, like with my laptop, because today I freed up like 4 gigabytes on the laptop, and it's still running exactly the same way. So they have done something to it. I mean, freeing up that much space, I mean, I should be speeding around, but everything is taking so long. Yes, okay, oh, great. That's a weird name. That would be really good. I have to defrag my laptop. I think I did like a year ago. I have to do it. You know what? I have to do it because I just freed up space, so I do need to do the defrag. Good point. So actually, David and A and I are going to have a conversation tomorrow. We're gonna have an interview. That's probably so. The best jobs for targeted individuals: call center jobs, avoid perps, noise harassment, and actually a YouTube channel. I mean, if you have a good topic and you can get monetized, but yeah, call center that is. Oh, interesting. Oh, thank you, con artist. Greek Maximus the Fourth. Well, and I think doing anything online also, having online business, because I'll tell you, like, they really mess with my eBay store. And wait one second, I think my cat's at the door. One second. Zoomy, Zoom, Zoomy, hi, come on in, come on in, here. Is that you? Yes, that was Zoomy. Zoomy was outside. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that person before, but I don't like that somebody who's not been in the chat comes in and starts trouble. I don't like that. This is a safe place for people to have conversations. You know, everybody's allegedly targeted, and we have tough lives, and we don't need to be aggravated in a chat. I hear what you're saying. No, no, you're a regular person, and I didn't like the way he was. It was like he was instigating, like instigating trouble, and I don't like that. No, not a regular. No, and it doesn't matter. Like, I welcome new people, but why would you be instigating trouble? Especially, yes, exactly, chaos agent. Exactly. Like, why would you, a new person, come into a chat to try to cause problems? So, as somebody said earlier, that there are so many um, fake TIs or people claiming to be targeted and they're really not. And there are so many of them. That's funny. But when I came into the community back in 2017, this is what I started to say like an hour ago, is that I was interviewed by Ella Free. That guy requested truth. Another channel, Roy, was shut down and citing request for truth was involved in his. I believe that that guy requests the truth. I'm just going to say it flat out because it's true, and I don't have a problem saying it. I hired him thinking that he was a targeted person. I hired him to redo my Freya's Cat Rescue website, and after 9 months, it wasn't done. He did it on a platform that did not coincide with WordPress. And after 9 months, I still have the same shitty website. He did nothing for me. So I unsubscribed from him months ago. Um, there are so many people that claim to be targeted, but they're not. Um, I don't know why somebody would want to say that they are when it's such a horrible way to live. I mean, the last thing I would want to do is tell people I'm targeted if I'm not. This is a horrible, horrible program. It's like telling somebody that you have an illness that you don't have. It's a con, it's a fraud. No, I haven't seen anything from that guy because I unsubscribed. Um yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Poor Roy's been attacked so much. Well, Roy wouldn't interview me. He like I wanted to be interviewed by him like I guess like a year and a half ago, and he said, "Well, if I can't see you, I won't interview you." And at that time, I wasn't showing my face. I mean, now obviously, I do. It's not a big deal. I just don't always have time to put makeup on and get ready for an interview. I got too much going on here. You had an issue today with a woman that I did not have that process I place would have called her a perp. I know I hear what you're saying because I feel that way about some people and I just don't know. So if I feel that way about somebody, I just won't confide anything in them. If I think somebody is a perp, I don't mind having a conversation with them, but I'm not going to tell them anything personal. But obviously, I have a YouTube channel, so what do? We're always talking about something personal on my channel. Yeah, Roy, who has what's his channel name? Roy. He does the interviews. Or no, what he does is he usually has like these live streams, like groups of people. Just go on and on too long. I don't really like the format so much. I like the format of having one interview or one topic. Roy E. Cops, yes, yes. That's it. Hi, Gianjo. Yes, that's his name. Yes. I think it's called Targeted Individuals United. Is that what it's called? I think it's Targeted Individuals United. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. I've watched it a few times. Like I prefer one-on-one interviews, like when he's got like all the different targeted people there. Um, I don't really like that format so much. Maybe one or two or three people, but when he's got like six or seven people, I don't really like that format. It's not something I could really listen to in the background, like if I'm busy. Oh, that's interesting. Well, just because female targeted people are telling him who the perps are, doesn't necessarily mean that they know who the perps are. I mean, obvious. I mean, some of them are very obvious. You're kidding. That guy is the reason his channel was taken down. What? I didn't even know his channel was removed. I didn't know that. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, he was able to save some of his recordings. Yeah, I haven't looked. I'm subscribed, but if I don't receive a notification, I don't always remember to go and look. No, you're kidding. The request for truth. I've not seen that. Well, like I said, I hired him. I needed my website done, and he claimed to be a web designer, and it did. After 9 months, I still have nothing. Hard target. Hi, Elsie. Welcome. Do you think the program will hit a point where they start trying to? I've considered that, River Bluff. Oh, Cheryl, I need to look into that. No, I hear you. I'd rather just put out content also. I just want to help you. Hi, HM. Welcome, welcome. You know what I'm probably going to do? It's almost midnight, and I was going to end the live, but since a few more people have come in, so that you can chat with each other, I have a couple of cats in my house that one of them I've got to get next door into the cats building. So I'll leave. Oh, you haven't been feeling well. I'm sorry to hear that. I know I haven't seen you around for a while. I know I heard Roy's story. He was married at one time, and it's just horrible stuff that happens to people. It's just unbelievable. But I did not know that about his channel, and I did not know about the request the truth guy. I will watch Sabrina when I'm in the mood. I mean, the very first time I watched her, I was blown away, and then I got so depressed, like depressed after listening to her, about the technology and stuff. Yes, on Odyssey. Yeah, she is a handful. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's a piece of work. Yeah, but she's good. Like she knows what she's talking about. But like we all do, she gets very angry. So sometimes I'm angry my own self. So I don't want to listen to some other angry person. By his handiwork. What does that mean? What is? Oh yeah, she's very serious. She's very, of course, she's serious. Now, what does that mean, Dianja? Dianja, I'm not pronouncing your name. It got removed by his handiwork. What does that mean? Oh, good night, SDL. I'm going to be signing off soon myself. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys chat for another 10 minutes or so while I get my cat next door. And where did she just disappear to? So I'm going to walk away from the screen. Have a good night. I'm going to walk away from the screen. You could chat for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Where did she go? Come here, girl. Where'd she go? Come back up there. Oh, there you are. You're behind me. I didn't see you there. Hey, Goofy. You ready to go home? Go home. Watch out. There's raccoons out there. Here. Sounds like a pig. Sounds like a snorting pig. Watch. Okay, I'm back. I've never been to North or South Dakota. I've been to Louisiana. I've been to New Orleans. The food was great. Yeah, the food was really good. And Louisiana always goes underwater. Oh yeah, I think I know that guy Doug. He's been around for a while. Yeah, I once thought about moving to the Ozarks too. I would imagine that the stalking is different in every state and or city depending on the people. Um, there was a channel that said, and I forget his name. He said that if you're going to move, at least move to a neighborhood where the people are of a higher educational level. I don't know. I'm thinking that fusion centers are mostly in the United States. I don't know what they're called in other countries. There's a targeted woman that lives in the Ozarks, and I think that guy Dave Case, who has the Frequencies CD, I think he lives there too. There's absolutely military naval in the Ozarks because it's one of the highest levels in the United States. I mean, if you're going to move in the United States, don't move to uh, a low level, like where the water is, like here. You're in South Georgia. The rednecks there are evil. Well, I thought when I moved here, Nick, that having this much acreage would give me a huge buffer from neighbors, and it does. But it doesn't matter. They're actually worse here than they were in New Jersey, and the neighbors were really close to each other. And I hear what you're saying, Cheryl. After the torture we've been through, I cannot ever see being a people person ever again. No, I'm a cat person, an animal person. The raccoons are trying to make me to a coon person. I've got to get rid of these raccoons. There are too many. There's too many of them here. I am me too. River Bluff says I used to be such a happy-go-lucky person. The different neighborhood with blue collar has the intelligence not to get involved in this type of phony bogus let's harass the neighbor. Well, even if they do, like my neighbors in New Jersey, the ones that I knew for a long time, I'm sure they were involved, but they ignored me. Like I had neighbors with doctorate degrees, masters and doctorate degrees in New Jersey. I'm sure they were told something bogus or whatever, and they just pretty much ignored me or had little to do with talking to me, which is fine with me. I mean, if you don't want to talk to me, don't talk to me. But these skit shows, actually, half of what goes on here they could never do in New Jersey. Oh, that's nice. 30,000 acres. Well, I think what happens is, the smarter, the more discerning somebody is, they might question the narrative. They might still go along with some things, but also, and also if you're in a different socioeconomic neighborhood, I mean, almost everybody can be bribed with money, but there are some people that don't need the money as badly as others. They'll put their thinking cap on and say, why is this person wanting to pay me a gift card to do something to that person? I would love for them to close the fusion centers. I thought that when they announced that Palantir would be collecting all this data, that they would close fusion centers because they. Why do we really need fusion centers if now Palantir is in charge of all of this? That's what I was thinking, River Bluff. Palantir is building a database, and soon every American will be subjected to this program. China's social credit system here. Well, that's really interesting, Conrad. Is that I'm thinking the days of human perps are limited. That's very possible. Cloaked super soldiers. Yes, the inhuman terrain team will always have a special place being military. Yeah. Well, if we're the test subjects, they're testing a long time. They're doing a lot of heavy testing. Well, anyway, guys, it's just past 12:30 here in the Eastern time. So I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you so much for joining in and all of your great ideas and conversations and stuff. I really appreciate you guys. Hi, Battle. Oh no, you just chimed in. Oh my goodness. Wait, what's that about this Amish documentary? Yes, yes. Well, we've been here since 10, Battle. So I'm tired and I've got an interview with David A tomorrow. I've got to get my beauty sleep. I've got to get any kind of sleep. You wonder what Amish men are like? Oh no, 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 no. You don't. No, you really don't. They're generally nice. They're very nice. They're good carpenters. They know how to build things. They're not very good to animals. Yes. Oh, okay. It was another sector, German sector sector of Amish. It's possible. Good night, everybody. I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you for joining in and for the great conversations and the conversations that you have with each other. I learned a lot from you guys. And for anybody that just came into the chat, Conrad says, want to know what Maori men are like? I'm cheap. That's too funny. That's too funny. But yes, so I posted a bunch of links and I read several articles. So, and the creepy voice is there, I'm sure. You'll all get to hear the creepy voice on replay. Hi, K Vicky. Anyway, Dan Bonjour's comments about his being shocked at the corruption of the FBI he just saw. Seems like they keep throwing out these teasers and then doing nothing. Oh no, I didn't see that. I did not see that. Why should anybody be shocked? The FBI is so corrupt. They had 3 or 4 whistleblowers that came forward and even wrote books about it. Was it Kyle Seraphin is one of the whistleblowers? Stephen Friend, and I forget the other guy's name. I'm seeing his face and I'm not remembering his name, but yes, everybody have a great night. Hopefully everybody gets some good sleep. I need sleep. my own self. But I'm going to end the live, and thank you everybody for joining in, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.